Now you're seeing the propaganda coming out of MSNBC. Let's take a look. We got new polls here. Morning Consult, the latest after the Nevada caucus. Bernie Sanders nationally is up 13 points over Michael Bloomberg, who I have no idea after that debate how Michael Bloomberg has gone up after that debate. That is stunning to me. He must be buying off the polls. I don't know how Michael Bloomberg went up 2 points after that debate. Is insane. But he's down to Bernie, 13 points. Then you got Uncle Joe Biden down 14 points nationally to Bernie. Then you got Mayor CIA down there all the way at 11%. Then you got Elizabeth Warren, again, down at 11%. That's nationally. Among black voters, this is the first time Bernie Sanders has taken the lead, according to Morning Consult, by 5 percentage points over Biden. Bloomberg, again, just absolutely stunning. I don't want to be a white guy questioning black voters, but it is stunning that Bloomberg is 25% of the black vote, considering his record. Warren, strong showing there at 5%, and Mayor CIA down at 3%. Then you have Bernie with, I missed Hispanic voters. Bernie, commanding lead, 45%. Bloomberg next at 16%. Warren at 14%. Biden at 9%. Buttigieg at 8% among Latinos. Bernie among white voters, 29%. Bloomberg 17%. Biden 15%. Let's look at South Carolina, where I'm going tomorrow. Thanks to you. Sign up, statuscoup.com/join. It's close. I mean, Biden is hemorrhaging support. Down 17 points since this last CBS YouGov poll. Still in the lead, 28 percentage points, so that's 24, 25%. Biden up 5 points, but he has lost 17 points among voters in South Carolina. Bernie up 8 points at 23%. Steyer, I mean, you got to give it to him. He's up 16 points. He's spent a lot of money and a lot of time in South Carolina. He's at 18%. Warren down 5 points. Buttigieg plus 2 at 10%. And Klobuchar at 3. I think tomorrow's debate is probably the most important debate in Bernie Sanders' political career. He's never had a debate that he has been the actual front runner in the presidential race. He is going to be getting it from every single direction, from every single candidate are going to be going straight for Bernie's jugular. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But I do think this debate is going to have a major impact on whether Bernie Sanders could actually win South Carolina. It also hasn't been formally announced, but South Carolina Senator James Clyburn is going to endorse Joe Biden. I don't put a lot of stock in endorsements, but James Clyburn's endorsement is one that actually matters. He's a big deal in South Carolina politics, particularly among older black voters. They take his endorsement very seriously. It's not surprising that he would endorse Biden. But to tell you the truth, folks, I know the momentum. Everybody wants Bernie to win South Carolina. To tell you the truth, if Bernie Sanders finishes 5 points behind Joe Biden in South Carolina, that's a victory. And that is a crushing defeat if you're Joe Biden. If Joe Biden can only beat Bernie Sanders by 5 in South Carolina, which is one of the most African-American voting constituencies, where Barack Obama won in 2008, obviously 2012, he cannot, first of all, in terms of delegates, this is a numbers game. He's not going to get enough delegates for him to really get back into the game against Bernie Sanders. But more importantly, how do you claim you're most electable if you get crushed in Iowa, if you get crushed in New Hampshire, if you get crushed in Nevada? He could say, I came in second. Well, you lost by 27 points, so it's not exactly a big victory if you're Joe Biden. But if you could only beat Bernie Sanders in South Carolina by 5 points when you were at one point probably, I think he was up by 30, I don't really know how are you more electable? How are you the most electable? He needs to win by double digits in South Carolina for it to be truly considered a win. I don't see that happening. I do not see that happening. I'm not going to lie to you. It would be good for business if I did lie to you. It would be great for business if I told you I think Bernie has a chance to win South Carolina. I think there's a chance I think there's a chance he could win South Carolina. His campaign announced today that they are adding, I believe, $500,000 in television ads this week into South Carolina. You would have to think if Bernie's campaign is adding more money into South Carolina, you only do that if you're obviously the outside polling, the public polling is showing it's close, but you only do it if your internal polling is showing that could actually make the difference in losing by 5 points or losing by 2 or 3 points or in winning. That's, $500,000. We're talking about monopoly money here, the type of money that's being raised. But $500,000 to throw into South Carolina when you also have to spend money in California and Texas and these other Super Tuesday states, it's a lot of money to put in. So I think there's a chance. I also think, frankly, I'm not going to lie to you, tomorrow is going to be a bloodbath for Bernie Sanders. It remains to be seen. He has never been in a debate where he's been attacked by 4 or 5 people at the same time. He's been attacked by the media in every debate. But he's never been the direct target of every single candidate the entire debate. You would have to expect that to happen tomorrow because Biden has to go at Bernie. He's going to go at him over guns. He's going to go at him over supposedly Bernie Sanders, tried to primary Obama in 2012, which isn't even true, but he's going to try and make it true. He's going to go after him on immigration. He's going to go after him on a lot of things. But to me, the key here, and I do believe this, if Bernie Sanders comes close, again, I think Bernie Sanders, if he loses by 5, claim victory and go on. I think the key in South Carolina is going to be Bernie Sanders' campaign strategy, and that's millennial African Americans. Not just millennials, but African Americans under the age of 40, which is not just the millennials, it's Gen... Is that Z? Yeah, I think that's Gen Z or Gen X. I don't know. Bernie Sanders' campaign has worked as hard as they worked in Nevada to bring out those Latino voters. They have worked very, very hard to expand the millennial black vote, the under 40 black vote. They are working to get some of the older African American vote, but they're not banking on that. It will be very, very important. If Bernie Sanders is going to be competitive, if Bernie Sanders even has a chance to win, he needs to bring out, a lot more younger, under 40 African-American voters. From conversations I've had with people in the campaign, Nina Turner has been on the ground in South Carolina many, many times. Cornel West has been on the ground in South Carolina several times. Actor Danny Glover has been on the ground in South Carolina many times. Killer Mike, the rapper, has been on the ground in South Carolina several times. They have had very, very high-level, influential black politicians, as well as black influencers like Cornel West and entertainers like Killer Mike on the ground, specifically to try and galvanize the younger African-American vote in South Carolina. Because the Democratic Party's number one most reliable voter is older black women. That's just a fact. So I'm going to be honest. I don't know if older black voters are going to, in droves, abandon Joe Biden for Bernie Sanders. I think they are scared of the word socialist, even when it's explained. They have, they believe what they believe. They've been conditioned to believe what they believe, and that's that. But I do think there's a chance that if Bernie Sanders could expand the base, if Bernie Sanders could get an extra, 5 to 7% of younger, under the age of 40 black voters to come out, I do think he could win South Carolina because I think Joe Biden's support is hemorrhaging. I also think when you look at this poll, look at this. Tom Steyer and all the money he spent is a big reason why Biden is taking. So if Tom Steyer, who is qualified for this debate tomorrow, if Tom Steyer does well in that debate, it seems to me, when you look at these numbers, it seems to me Joe Biden is losing the most support to Tom Steyer. Well, if Tom Steyer does really, really well in that debate, you might see more defections to Tom Steyer. I don't think those defections to Tom Steyer would allow Tom Steyer to move all the way up to surpass Bernie Sanders. But Tom Steyer right now is Bernie Sanders' best friend in South Carolina. Because if Tom Steyer could pluck another maybe 3 percentage points from Joe Biden, while Bernie Sanders gets another 2 or 3, Bernie Sanders is going to win South Carolina. So, hey, Tom, this is the one time I say it. We welcome your billions. Today, I think Joe Biden, unless he completely collapses in this debate tomorrow, if Tom Perez has an amazing debate, I think Joe Biden probably would win by 2 to 3 points is what I would give him, which to me is a victory. If Bernie Sanders loses by 2 to 3 points in South Carolina, by the way, he lost to Hillary Clinton, I believe, by over 30 points. Check me on that, Jen. That's a victory.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.